great to be here again. And as Steve said, I do have a few more gray hairs every single year. I started at 14 in really a different time, I would say, in software development, where it was all client-server based, really not focused on server architecture even at the time. But we find ourselves today at a radically different place in software development. When we look at the ecosystem and how we build applications, it's much more about this very vast ecosystem powered by the internet. It's cloud-based architectures. It's about how we connect systems together to build applications. No longer we're building things in a client-server, server-stack architecture, but we're looking at how we take services from a wide variety of implementation experts, from AWS to Google to Appian to other cloud vendors, and unite these together into holistic business applications. Like here, I'm going to combine some services like a process management, document management, contracts, DocuSign for signing stuff, and create a vendor onboarding application. Or maybe take something from a service request management, a variety of services like Google machine learning, and apply artificial intelligence to automatic triage, and combine that into these ever-evolving applications. But how we think about software as well is that it needs to be there to power our business models and how we evolve these over time, that the software becomes the enabler of your business, and that we need to rapidly adapt these software applications to change with the times. So here I want to reform that into a new object, a new application, but evolving that over time to new business functions, applying technologies in different ways, and creating new intelligent applications that we can power our business. And evolving it again, constantly evolving. Software is not a project anymore, where we think about, again, 20 years ago, I might have built something as a waterfall project. Now we're constantly evolving software, constantly changing the way that it works to adapt to the latest business model, to adapt to the needs of our customers and our business operations. So that's when we think about the vision of where software is today, where we need to think about also how we build applications, and where we think in Appian that we want to supply those services to you as our customers and our partners to enable that. And it starts with a concept that we like to talk about very clearly is automate more, code less. Automation is really about how we bring all those things together, the orchestration of all those services. How do I combine each of these individual services and the people, the humans in that process, into a holistic business application? And doing this without coding, without the idea of having onerous Java or .NET coding, very slow development cycles, but be able to visually lay that out in a quick model and then have that become the software application. That's the vision of Appian. And of course, Matt talked about this concept yesterday around enterprise low code. Enterprise low code is what we think of elevating really the low code services, expecting more as you as a customer for vendors like ourselves to provide to you. And as Matt described earlier, a lot of that is what we call free power. And to give exactly some clarity of what we mean by free power, we'll first talk about, of course, some of those core services that we provide in our cloud architecture. This is probably one of the most important elements for us. Appian spends a huge amount of money paying internal auditors, or external auditors rather, to audit us, to make sure that we're delivering high quality software applications to our customers. So we have proactive and continuous security audits with every single release of the Appian platform. And of course, we try to achieve the best-in-class security certifications across the entire cloud industry. Things like G-Cloud, Crown Commerce Service Supplier, Privacy Shield, as well as global standards such as PCI DSS, GXP, and other regulations applicable to specific regions and area laws. And of course, we also stand against, say, multi-tenancy. We believe that dedicated cloud instances, complete isolation of our data, or of our customers' data, is the most important thing to give you security of total control of that data, as well as making sure that data always stays in region. So you're no longer worrying about compliance issues. If you're operating in Germany, operating in the United Kingdom, that data stays inside your region. There's no access to that data or spread of that data across other regions of the world. But we're also bringing in 18.2 earlier this year, we announced the Bring Your Own Key initiative. Now this is part of our Cloud Premier services, which allows our customers to also have access and control the encryption keys to their data inside the Appian Cloud environment. So no longer, again, Appian is relying on encrypting. You have the key to your data. You can decrypt the data, and you control access to that data, even though it's residing in the Appian Cloud architecture. Now we also introduced several years ago Appian High Availability. Appian High Availability has two important metrics, RPO and RTO. RPO, as you can see, is right here, is that age of files that must be recovered from backup storage for normal process operations to resume. So this means that if you have a complete failure, if you're familiar with how Appian High Availability works, we do complete replication of your entire stack, active replication across 3 redundant data centers. If one of those data centers completely goes out, that's an entire data center. If you've seen these, 100,000 square foot facility, complete go out of that entire data center, you have instant failover to these other environments for continuous operations. As well, if you do have a traumatic failure, we used to provide a 15-minute RPO. Now, with the latest release of Appian announcing today, we've reduced this down to 1 minute. So you have continuous operations. In the event of a complete data failure, you're guaranteed not to lose more than 1 minute of data from those transactions that you're processing inside the Appian system. So again, our goal here is to provide you extremely high availability, high reliability inside a cloud operation for all your active sites. In addition, Matt alluded to this, but as well as part of our Cloud Premier services, we're announcing today also access to enhanced data pipeline. This is part of the Appian Cloud Premier Services offering, which allows you to have direct access, read access from the Appian Cloud databases directly to your BI systems, as well as other platforms like the MySQL Workbench. So you can access data directly. So if I want to use Tableau, Informatica, Power BI, Click, any of those BI tools, or maybe use MySQL Workbench, I can use those tools to directly query, pull data from the Appian Cloud, right from our cloud architecture into your on-premise BI solutions to do detailed reporting information on what's inside the Appian platform. And in addition, we're also announcing today Appian Log Streaming. So inside the Appian Cloud, again, as part of our Appian Cloud Premier services, all the log files that you capture the Appian system can be streamed in real time directly to a streaming database platform, such as Kibana and Splunk. So this allows you to monitor things like utilization, login information, security checks, application deployments, all the transactions that happen inside the Appian platform can now be streamed in real time, giving you real-time dashboards of what's going on inside your backend or in your Appian Cloud architecture. So as I mentioned again, this is all part of the Appian Cloud Premier services, which is also complemented by Appian Premier support. So if you're not already a customer of this, we highly encourage you to engage with Appian. This is probably the best way to have a highly reliable and engaged experience with the Appian Cloud platform. Appian Premier support, as Matt mentioned yesterday, provides 24/7/365 support around the clock. We have major support centers in Sydney, Australia, here in London, as well as Washington, D.C. for Follow the Sun support. But more importantly, with our Premier support offering, you get a dedicated support engineer for important events such as your product launches. As I finish a new project and I want to launch it, you will have an Appian Cloud support engineer on the phone ready to handle those calls to support that launch activity or any cloud migration activities. So we act as a partner, an extension of your team to make sure that's a reliable deployment of your new initiatives on the Appian platform. Now also, we provide that dedicated support engineer. As I mentioned, Appian Cloud Premier Services, announcing today, provides the existing high availability with a 1 minute RPO, the bring your own key, enhanced data pipelines, as well as log streaming, all as part of that Cloud Premier Services as well. So again, feel free to engage with your Appian representatives if you'd like to learn more about that. But going back to enterprise low code, a big part of what we also provide is that intelligent automation. And talking a bit more about what exactly that is. It's a number of free, powerful services that are included inside the Appian platform. And I'd like to talk first about artificial intelligence. I'm not sure, probably a lot of you started to explore AI services and what that means. When I think of AI, I don't think of it as discrete individual AI services. I think about it as a collection. If you think about, for example, the human brain, if we're trying to rebuild a sentient being as our long-term goal to help operate our business, well, what is the brain? I have an eye that can do image recognition. I have an emotional sense. I can do natural language processing. I can understand emotions. I have lots of different services. Actually, physically, there's the lobes in my brain. And what we need to do is think about how can I build connections between these services? How can I orchestrate these AI services? You also find that you're not going to find always or build, say, the best AI service. I'm not sure if anyone feels that they could build maybe better natural language processing here than, say, Google or AWS. You're probably going to be very hard-pressed because the best AI services are going to be provided by the best training, which means the greatest access to data. If you're able to train AI services with huge data sets, you're going to have a really great AI service. if you don't have access to that data set, you're going to want to leverage pre-built cognitive services and pre-built AI services and include those in that connection of the brain that you're trying to build, using orchestration automation software for that. So in this journey, as we explore how I get to artificial intelligence, we need to think of the lowest hanging fruit. How do I build a small little bot or a small little kind of artificial intelligence inside my overall business operations? And we want to think about those, again, pre-built cognitive services. You might be using some of these already, such as optical character recognition, image recognition, natural language processing, sentiment analysis. These are really great ways to start to incorporate AI services inside your overall environment to do things like intelligent triage. I receive a customer inbound request. I want to understand the sentiment of it. If it's negative sentiment, I want to route to someone. Now, as we evolve up the AI ladder here, we take a look at partially trained cognitive services. Those things that combine, so for example, natural language processing with things like intent analysis. Appian provides integration to platforms like the Azure Lewis solution, which does just this. It allows you to understand the context through natural language processing of what a communication is, and then correlate that to the intents of your business. So how do I understand they're asking for something? Is this a new account opening? Is this a credit limit check? Is this a dispute for a financial transaction? How do I know what they're talking about inside the context of that? So that's a partially trained cognitive service that you can apply just a minimal effort to start leveraging more contextual awareness to your specific business operations. And then the highest level, each one of you as a customer probably does have access to unique data sets unique to your business. And that's when we want to look at custom artificial intelligence or raw machine learning. I want to take that data set, I want to hire a data scientist, I want to feed it up into machine learning services, and I want to train that for artificial intelligence that's unique to my specific business operations. Now, what we're finding in working with some customers, like major investment firms that we've worked with, we actually, when we start to use this to automatically train the systems, we find that we also need to train multiple machine learning platforms, and we get different outcomes. As we establish these new neural networks and machine learning training systems, we might run it across AWS, Watson, Google, Azure, and what you're finding even with the same data set, you get different predictability outcomes and different levels of accuracy of those artificial intelligence predictions as they come in. So the proper AI strategy is really not, hey, I'm going to buy a vendor who says they have AI, but I'm going to provide a vendor that has connections to AI, that allows me to build the brain, it allows me to connect to all these services, and then also find the right ML service or the right cognitive service that meets my specific needs. Does it have the proper language I need to support for speech-to-text translation? Does it have the proper sentiment analysis for my specific business operations? And then I need to connect that inside my overall platform. So when we think about intelligent automation, it's really about combining multiple technologies together. Business process management allows the master orchestration of what's going on inside that entire orchestration. Artificial intelligence, pre-built cognitive services, partially trained services, raw machine learning, robotic process automation to automate repetitive human activities, as well as enterprise integration. How do I integrate all these services together? And how do I combine that together into a holistic solution while maintaining all these individual microservices to remain where they are? So when we talk about business process management, we focus on that life cycle, being able to easily design through visual process modeling, laying it out in a low-code manner, and then immediately execute that, no-code compilation, then also managing the process, being able to manage exceptions, reroute work, and also continuously monitor and optimize the process through business activity monitoring and analytics tracking. So again, any of these journeys, intelligent automation, software development in general, is not a one-stop action. It's a continuous learning. You're always looking at your processes, understanding what's going on, optimizing it, reevaluating it, and going back through the cycle. You're always looking at the process models, looking at your business operations, and adapting it to the latest business needs. In addition, Appian's focus on packaging cognitive services inside of our products, such as artificial intelligence for sentiment analysis. We heard Matt talk about this yesterday. So simple cognitive services like this, we want to make really simple for you as customers to consume in a no-code fashion. So simply use that sentiment analysis function that's been introduced in the product since 18.2, and right away you can start doing sentiment analysis on all the communications coming in. So very easy to leverage. But when it comes to leveraging those best-in-class solutions, Appian's focusing on building no-code integrations to AWS, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure, which allows you, without a developer, simply say, pass my API keys to Google, and now I see a nice menu of actions I can do for, say, their natural language processing. So let's see how this actually works. In this case, I have a screen. I'm going to select Google Natural Language Processing, create a new, insert my API key, create a new integration function. And as you can see, this integration function is going to call a web API, but as I build that web API, I have simple checkboxes. I don't need to know how to map JSON back and forth or parse parameters or do an HTTP header. I simply check boxes. What do I want to select from Google Natural Language Processing? Give it the text I want to pass over, and I get the response right there. So a very simple way to start to incorporate AI services directly inside your overall process models from the leading AI platforms. And of course, a big part of this is also supported by robotic process automation. As Matt talked about yesterday, we have a very deep integration with the Blue Prism platform, not only providing, obviously, integration, but also providing direct sales and support for the Blue Prism product. So if you want to go to one vendor for intelligent automation, Appian access that sales channel. We also, if you have a level 1, level 2 support ticket about how to work with Blue Prism in the context of Appian, you can talk to one support organization to field all those requests. And of course, what do you accomplish here is taking all those repetitive activities. So here we see an example of having a Microsoft Excel document automatically loading into a backend database. Systems that don't have robust APIs, we can now quickly go over and also use robotic actions and intelligent actions to simply map that information over, eliminating all those human steps and increasing the overall efficiency of your organization. And going on. Let's see here. There we go. Skip the slide. There we go. Anyway, sorry about that. And also, Appian's really invested in this platform. As Matt implied, it's free on the application app market, which allows you to simply have the Appian RPA with Blue Prism monitoring dashboard. This is going to monitor both the bots across your Blue Prism environment as well as the human workflows. So you have one monitor dashboard to see exactly what's going on, how your overall processes are working, measure the amount of human hours you're saving by this as well, and of course, handle exceptions. Oftentimes, your robots are not going to be able to understand how to interact with every single scripted action. So you can quickly kick those out into human exceptions and handle those inside the Appian platform before going back to a robotic action. So in addition, the final kind of point that we want to highlight with enterprise low code is really measuring digital business value. Low code is not just about delivering solutions faster, satisfying the need for business users to build digital solutions faster, but as well as actually deliver feedback of how well you're accomplishing your digital business goals. So Appian focuses a lot on not only providing integration to BI platforms, as we saw, but as well having a robust process analytics engine that allows you to create dashboards like this that monitor what's going on inside the system. Detailed lag and work performance tracking, process analytics tracking to understand exactly where your goals are being met, setting service level agreements on each one of those process goals, and having detailed real-time charts across the analytics engine that allows your business to actually monitor the progress of your environment. This is taking low code beyond just simple productivity, but also showing the productivity gains by enabling digital business across your entire operations. And finally, we see this best manifested in a solution that we introduced in April this year called the Intelligent Contact Center. The Intelligent Contact Center really is an elevation of this entire technology set to solve a very specific problem. Over the past several years, we've walked into many of our customers in the contact center space, and we've seen environments like this, where you see 1, 2, 3 different monitors. If you've seen ever an agent desktop, you see sticky notes all over the place with possibly private information of their clients are interacting with because they're taking quick notes as they're talking to a customer. And they see lots of complex interfaces, unintegrated, which means hard training times. To ramp up those new agents, you need to teach them not just one system, but how to click between all these different systems. Now, our vision here is really simplifying the entire automation experience, the entire agent experience here, to have an intuitive desktop experience, low agent training times, and ultimately better customer satisfaction and customer scores. We also always like to highlight this Gartner quote from June 2017. It said, the call center is morphed into a customer engagement center with multi-channel support and model-driven case management capabilities at the core. That last point is really most important, that there's case management really is at the core of a contact center now. It's not simply about communicating. It's not simply having a telephone, but having a case management platform that brings all that information together into a single place so your agent can make intelligent decisions when interacting with that customer. They don't need to guess. They don't need to have inconsistent customer experiences. You don't have customers say, well, I'll just call back in 5 minutes, get a different agent, and then probably get a different result. But I want to have all the information the agent needs right there and use artificial intelligence and intelligent automation to guide the agent experience through the best action for that specific customer engagement. We do this by combining the core tenets of the Appian product, intelligent automation, case management capabilities, all built in a low-code platform with new customer engagement features. The ability to directly handle telephone calls, SMS, chat requests, WebRTC, screen sharing, all directly inside an Appian dashboard. You can actually answer the phone call directly inside the Appian sale user experience. To see how this works, on the upper left-hand side, we can see the example of this communication component. This is a standard component inside Appian with the ICC offering. It allows you to drag and drop, add this communication widget right there, which allows you to instantly start talking to all these different channels. You simply enable the channels you want to talk on: SMS, chat, telephone, maybe multiple channels at once, as well as the Intelligent Contact Center provides a number of core capabilities. So this we see an example of the ICC desktop, including the customer engagement component there in the upper left-hand quadrant. And as well, I see a number of other components. To highlight these, in green, we see things that are pre-built frameworks around the ICC solution, such as interaction logging. I want to maintain an audit history of every single customer communication. I want to also be able to search the audit history very easily. So I want to be able to see down below all the recent actions I had with them, and recent cases I also had with them. I also want to integrate chatbot services to give recommendation to the agent about what to say during this communication. So what's unique to that is then that yellow part right there, that's where Appian records, automation, process actions come into play. So we fill in the gap of your unique business operations inside the ICC desktop, taking your existing records, taking your existing processes, and layering on top of that interaction logging, communication, customer engagement, audit history information inside a single desktop experience. So let's see how this actually works. So here we see a recording of a chatbot integration. Now, it's going to start on the right-hand side here with the communication purely on an iPhone. I have the communication coming back and forth, and actually it's using a chatbot AI service powered by Google called Dialogflow. But Dialogflow is complemented by Appian using our business rules engine to understand what to say. So Dialogflow is going to understand the context of what's being asked for. So here I can see how may I help you. You can check my balance, check my credit limit. They're typing in what is my credit limit. Now that action, Google is performing natural language processing to understand the context. Then it's going over to Appian to understand kind of the intent, which is credit limit, firing a business rule, and then returning that value right there. We're also using real-time sentiment analysis to say if they ever communicate negative sentiment during the entire text string, it instantly kicks them out into an agent desktop experience. So I want to never have a customer that's frustrated by talking to a chatbot, automatically kick them over to the full desktop experience. And now that communication's been seamlessly handed off to the agent can see that history of what's been going on, the interaction log history down at the bottom, the recent transactions. You can see in this case, they want to do a credit card dispute. So they're going to go ahead and open up a new credit card dispute action and start selecting those process actions from those appropriate dashboards. Now also you see at the very top, it's going to give that chatbot service. So whenever there's maybe a relevant action, it can also give a recommendation to the agent about what to say. They can click on that action, it'll automatically populate the chat screen as well. So you can see a nice seamless integration of communication directly to a handoff to an agent with direct interaction with a full case management dashboard and process actions inside the environment. So that's the Intelligent Contact Center. Again, if you're interested in that, I encourage you stop by the booth right outside, get a personalized demo, and of course, talk to your Appian representatives and be happy to share more about the Intelligent Contact Center solution built on Appian. Now, I'd like to announce also the latest 18.4 release. 18.4 is scheduled for release on November 16th, 2018. And those of you who attend my product webinars might be familiar. I have 3 standard things I talk about. user, designer, administrator, but today we're going to talk about one extra, developer. So there's a brand new role inside of here that we're going to announce a new beta program at the end of this presentation. November 16th is a webinar. That means about 2 weeks before the webinar, you'll get to hear my voice again in the quarterly announcement webinar. Certainly invitations will go out. And of course, if you can't make it, the recordings will be made available shortly after as well, before the product launch. Now to talk a little bit about 18.4 and also what we've been releasing over the past several releases, Appian's had a very strong focus on the end user experience. We want to make sure that our customers can build the UIs that your customers are going to love. So we've been adding more and more styling options, more and more UI controls. We see an example here of using the 18.3 product document viewer and web content components, which allow you to now embed content right in line. In this case, I'm doing a contract review process. In this contract review process, I want to get a side-by-side view of my red lines and my current project. So this is something you can build today with the current Appian product, doing side-by-side views, embedding documents right inside, and embedding rich editors. In this case, I see the Appian document viewer showing a PDF document stored inside the Appian document management store. You could also do the exact same thing with the web content viewer that allows you to also view content, say, from Google Docs or from Office 365, any other type of online content storage solution. Another good example of what you can do today in the Appian product as well is this DocuSign integration, also around, say, contracts management. I want to embed DocuSign right inside the Appian product and also have integration to the DocuSign APIs. So inside of here, we not only built an integration, the web content component, to embed the DocuSign document right there to monitor and track the document, but as well, through our new integration designer released last year, we have direct integration with the DocuSign platform, giving those actions, say, approve, reject. It can also kick actions and orchestrate that across those other cloud services. Now, those of you who haven't seen Appian, the 2018 releases, notice also much greater control of column width controls, styling controls. We also introduced in 18.2 the card layout control, which allows you to make these nice, big, juicy buttons. Who can not understand these two buttons, approve, reject? It's quite clear. Your users will never mess that up anymore, never have hidden buttons at the bottom. So it's really easy now to build kind of nice, intuitive user experiences. And here's an example of that in an HR site. You know, for your employees, you want to come in, have a nice, intuitive layout of how to navigate your human resources environment at your company. So I want to have a nice banner image. I want to welcome my employee to the company. I want to have a nice kind of visual display, and I want to have nice, big, chunky buttons there. What's about me? Learn about my specific profile. What are my benefits? What's my time off? What's my recruiting, my tasks, offboarding information? They have nice, intuitive button controls. Clicking on those goes into simple UIs as well. They can all build inside the product. So much greater style control, detailed column width, side-by-side layout, full color control over all the elements. So you can style any color you like on the headers, on the text inside the environment to get that pixel-perfect control. And of course, also with 18.3, we released the modern mobile UI. Now, this was a complete refresh of the entire user experience for our mobile devices. And in 18.3, we had full parity now with all that rich styling you can do on the web. You can now get in a native mobile client application. So here we see the middle, we see a nice card layout, prompting me to say select for a specific insurance program. Really intuitive controls, but that's now running in a native mobile device container. I don't need to restyle that. It's not running in a web view inside the mobile device. It's a full native mobile application that I instantly got by building that inside the Appian Interface Designer. And with 18.4, one of the mini actions, I'm not going to preview everything because we still have 2 more weeks of development before we go to our security audit. So I'm not going to preview everything with 18.4. But one of the actions that we're also introducing is quick access to create actions from record lists. So a lot of you have been using records already and have had different menu options on sites to create a new object of that record. Now you can add that control right inside the record list view. So I can say, I want a button right at top. I want to add a new. That allows you to initiate a process action right from the environment, and of course, kick open that record screen. So again, saving overall UI, make a little bit more intuitive user experience for building new records inside of a record list. Now talk a little bit more about the designer features that we also recently introduced. Most importantly was the Appian Interface Designer. So Appian Interface Designer, if you saw the 18.2 release, now has a full drag and drop control, a real true no-code experience for building user experiences inside the Appian product. This allows you to rapidly lay out UI. So here you see an example of I'm laying out a UI on the fly right away, building a customer service request form, filling out all the necessary fields, capturing the individual elements. I simply drag and drop on my palette on the left-hand side, drag and drop that into the specific areas, click on the individual control, and I have my controls to the right-hand side to simply modify those. I can still insert dynamic business logic, so I can use Appian's business rules engine to drive dynamic logic through the entire system. So I can have cascading drop-downs, different pop-up elements that pop up on condition, simple visual controls as well that pop up on a condition as well. And of course, this is also being complemented by a new integration component. Here we go. Now we have clicker problems again. There we go. So we're also adding to the Appian repertoire in 18.4 additional connected systems architecture. Now this is a specific integration. Go back. Too many clicks. There we go. So as you see down below, in 18.2 we introduced AWS Machine Learning, Microsoft Azure AI Service, Google Cloud Natural Language, and then in 18.4 we have one more additional connected system coming online, which is the Google Cloud Vision. Google Cloud Vision provides leading AI engine for doing image recognition. This can do optical character recognition, this can do facial recognition, it can do image location. So if you take a picture of outside Big Ben, it will immediately recognize the location and tag that, give you all the metadata information about that specific location. This is leading image recognition services. Now again, you simply click on that object, give it your API key, and now right away in a simple checkbox menu, it can start applying Google Cloud Vision inside your overall business processes to do any number of AI triage activities. Continuing on with the administrator area, we introduced a number of core capabilities also this year. Matt mentioned this as well, but we doubled the size of the process engines. So we went from 16 to 32 redundant engines. If you are in Appian Cloud High Availability, that's actually replicated threefold after that. So the quick math test was at 96 total possible process exec and process analytics engines. And of course, this gives you an addressable 1 terabyte of memory storage for process analytics reporting. So some of you who maybe been trying to optimize your analytics reporting, you can now have up to 1 terabyte of data inside process analytics to do real-time reporting of all the data inside your process architecture. In addition, in 18.2 and 18.3, we introduced 2 important initiatives. The first was Docker deployments. So to simplify the entire deployment architecture, any of those developers who want to do an on-premise installation can use our Docker container for a fast installation, maybe spinning up things like dev boxes very quickly by using our Docker container. It's also much easier to maintain and it has a lower total cost of ownership. As well in 18.3, we replaced JBoss and WebLogic support with a single application server now that's bundled inside the Appian platform, which is Apache Tomcat. This is actually very good for our customers because this means that you don't need to license a separate JBoss server or separate WebLogic server. It's actually bundled fully native inside the application platform. It's also really fast to install and maintain, and it's fully supported by Appian. So that means if you have any issues with your application server that's running the Appian platform, you don't need to go to JBoss support, Red Hat support. You can directly call Appian. We fully support the entire stack of our product as well as the application server that is running it, which is seamlessly bundled inside the installation files of the Appian product. And of course, if you're not familiar with Tomcat, it's basically a derivative of JBoss. JBoss is the full application server. Tomcat is the servlet container, so it's actually a much lighter footprint, less memory utilization, faster performance on the application server as well. So finally, let's talk about developer. And we have an important new initiative to talk about with this 18.4 release. Now, the developer release is introducing something called the Appian Integration SDK beta program. So you saw some of those examples where I have Twilio integration in the communication. I have connected systems like Google Natural Language Processing. We want to allow our partners, our customers, to dramatically expand those no-code connections inside the Appian product. And we're going to do it first by allowing external developers to participate in this beta program running in 18.4, starting in 18.4, to build their own no-code integrations inside the Appian platform. So you'll see that you can create these additional services that you see right here, AWS, Google Cloud Vision. You can add to those using Appian's secure credential store to store all those information and easily deploy that into the application marketplace as well, so sharing that service with other customers, partners inside the Appian app market. Now, of course, that allows you to create these no-code integrations. So if I want to wrap SAP, I want to wrap different systems, I can simply click on the SAP logo, give it my credential information, and I see simple drop-down menus to configure those integrations back in systems. More exciting, though, is we're also expanding this to sale, because Appian integration is not just about service-level integration. It's also about UI integration. It's about building that overall seamless desktop experience. So in 18.2, we had the ability to do things like web content component, which is fine. You know, I can embed DocuSign inside of there. The problem with web content component is that it didn't have contextual awareness to the rest of the interface. If I clicked on something inside that little box, I couldn't, say, natively pass it to a business rule in Appian to drive a dynamic UI inside Appian. So now with the Appian Integration SDK, with sale extensions, you can actually build your own intuitive sale extensions that integrate back-end systems into the Appian UI. So if I want to put, say, Google Calendar, I want to put Google Docs inside of there, and when someone clicks on, say, a specific calendar element inside the Google Calendar, it automatically brings up some sale information about that customer. If I want to integrate, say, an existing back-end system that you already have, you can add that as is, keep the UI in place, and then add an integration layer that allows it to seamlessly communicate with the overall business rules running that Appian sale interface. So let's see some examples of this in work, in action. Here we see an example of integrating with AWS IoT services for real-time streaming information around health information. So imagine I have a patient who's inside my hospital. I want to integrate AWS information in real time, or AWS IoT device information in real time, and have it automatically refresh my Appian dashboard. So here I see real-time information on my beats per minute, my overall blood pressure, my breathing rates, oxygen levels, my body temperature. All this information constantly being streamed into the Appian sale interface from a third-party Appian Integration SDK. Let's see another example of this. Integrating Appian Power BI, or Microsoft Power BI as an Appian sale extension. So let's say I don't just want to use Appian's pie chart, bar chart capabilities. I want to use a leading business intelligence platform like Power BI. But I don't want to sacrifice things like when they click on a specific wedge or a specific element of that pie chart, I want to automatically drill into the information inside the Appian record dashboard. Now with the Power BI integration and building that in an Appian Integration SDK, you can simply click on those wedges, have it communicate seamlessly with the Appian platform, and then drive actually intelligent experiences. You actually create a Power BI main UI that allows you to drive into Appian records, Appian task actions, and drive the entire user experience as well. So it's that bi-directional communication between all these environments inside the user experience, embedding right inside any Appian dashboard. So if you'd like to participate inside the Appian Integration SDK beta program, we ask you right now, simply email your interest at integrationbeta@appian.com. At integrationbeta@appian.com, we're going to be recording all the people who are interested. Again, we expect probably lots of our partners to be initially interested to participate. We're then going to officially launch the beta program with the 18.4 launch on November 16th. So you'll hear more about this, more details about the integration beta on the upcoming product announcement webinar in early November. And then, of course, the official launch leading to the GA release sometime in 2019 as we go into Appian World next year. So I'd like to close this out and, again, reiterate the mantra of Appian. We want you to automate more, code less. We want you to be able to create that orchestration of AI services, create the orchestration of your existing system services, be able to adapt those fluidly by adding new service capabilities whenever you need, and always evolve your software applications in a no-code design experience. I'd like to thank everyone, of course, for attending Appian Europe, and, of course, look forward to engaging with you at the rest of the conference.